Hello and welcome to another episode of Beer Man's No Bull Beer Reviews. Today I have another beer from Insurrection Ale Works out of Heidelberg, Pennsylvania. This beer is called Intrepid Traveler. It is a double IPA brewed with Citra, Galaxy, and Eldorado, and it is 8% ABV. So I hadn't had some of their stuff in a decent while, but I picked some up when I was just up there last weekend. And I just recently did a review for their pale ale, which was pretty good, so I'm excited for this. I did have one of their beers on tap, too, while I was in Pittsburgh, and that was really nice, too. So I'm hoping this follows suit. We'll see. Man, these guys are... So the last can was the same way, like High Branch, where it feels like they somehow squeeze 17 ounces in a 16-ounce can. Every time you open them, like even if you don't shake them, they not explode, but the beer almost gushes out of the can and just sits on top. I will say, just smelling it from opening it like that, it smells really good. Let's see if the flavor is just as impressive. Alright. So as you can see, it pours a darker golden color. It's pretty hazy with about a finger and a half worth of a fluffy white head. Oh man, does that smell good. That smells super fresh, which this can isn't old, but it's not like it was canned last week. I think it's like 5 or 6 weeks old, which is even more impressive. Lots of peach, lots of candied orange, some underripened pineapple, which I'm guessing is more from the Galaxy. Just a little bit of like bready malt character, but it's almost all hops. Wow, that's interesting because it's still pretty juicy, but it actually has like a little bit of a dank character in the flavor too, which maybe that's something from the Eldorado. I'm not as familiar with Eldorado as I am with Citra and Galaxy. I don't even think I've ever brewed with it before, to be honest. It does have a pretty good bitterness to it, but it's actual like real IPA bitterness, like Fathead's bitterness. It's not the bitterness because there's so much hop particles floating in the beer that it's stinging the back of the tongue. It's more like they actually, they actually put bittering hops in the beer. It does have a little bit of a sweetness, which is actually good because it balances out that bitterness. Yeah, there's a little bit of a peach, but not as much as the aroma. The flavor is more a little bit dank. There's definitely a good bit of that citrusy orange. And I am picking up a little bit of alcohol too, I will say that. It's not like super strong, but you can tell that it's a bigger beer for sure. Sometimes on the tongue, it's hard to tell between alpha acid bitterness and alcohol. And this is kind of one of those cases because it's like a little bitter and a little hot, but neither are like really off-putting. But I think the combination of the both makes it hard to really decipher between the two. The beer itself, I will say that's the only complaint I have with their IPAs. And again, it is a nitpicky thing, but they don't have like, and a lot of IPAs, a lot of New England style IPAs don't really have this as good as like the best ones do. But the body is not like super pillowy and soft. Excuse me. So that you're not going to have that with it. You definitely get all the good juicy New England style flavor, but it's not nearly as soft as like High Branch and Brew Gentleman, so, and like Hill Farmstead. But overall, I still think it's a really nice double IPA. I think this was $18 a 4-pack, which is pretty appropriately priced. Nowadays, it's pretty hard to find a double IPA for under that. So I mean, that's usually like the minimum, and then sometimes they go to 20 or even higher. So I think $4.50 for this. I'm not going to say it's a steal because there's other things that are as good for relatively the same price, but I think it's up there with those. So I think it's appropriately priced, and I think it's worth the money. Honestly, I think it's better than most of the stuff I've had from Dancing Gnome recently. Definitely better than Hitchhiker and Grist House. So, if you want a packaged IPA in Pittsburgh, this honestly would be one of the ones I would tell people to get over some of the other ones that people are going after. Like Brew Gentleman's the best. They've always been the best at making IPAs in Pittsburgh, but they're not packaging yet. So if you want to package IPA in Pittsburgh, just go here, make sure they're fresh, and get the last couple cans. They had a few issues with their canning line when they first started, but a lot of breweries have that. But these most recent cans I've had have all been really nice. And the other issue they had was like stuff falling off really quickly. But like I said, this is like 6 weeks old, so it's not. I mean, it's not really old, but it's definitely old enough that if it's a brewery that has problems with oxidation or stuff falling off really quickly, it would definitely be downhill at this point. And it's not. It still tastes really fresh. So definitely worth checking out, and I would buy again for sure. But I think that's all I got in this one. Please like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think, and I look forward to doing the next one. Thanks.